Hi everyone, this is my Raven Ross Strong Interest Inventory presentation. The Strong Interest Inventory is a career and educational path assessment. It was initially introduced in 1927 by E.K. Strong Jr. This test is continually updated and revised. They're updating the questions, their responses, and how the clients are to respond. There are now 291 items in the 5 categories. It used to be 317. And the overall reading level of the SII is at a 9th grade reading level. Probably some of it is below, but nothing is above that average reading level. The test gives the tester 5 areas of information: general occupational themes, basic interest scales, occupational skills, personal style skills, and response summary. These are taken from John Holland's occupational themes. The basic implementation of this assessment, it was created with the intention to aid in educational and career decision-making, meaning it tests personality types, motivations, all of that kind of thing that go into determining what a client would be best matched with. The Strong is at a B assessment level, which means you, in order to be qualified to administer the assessment, you have to have at least a degree, a bachelor's degree, and it could be in the field of psychology or sociology, something similar to that. The client answers are analyzed on a computer. They are not hand scored, which is different than many other self-directed tests, like John Holland's self-directed occupational themes test. This assessment can be given in an individual or group setting with the administrator present. Responses are on a Likert rating scale, so this ranges from strongly disagree or to strongly agree, somewhere in, and there's a neither option also, and it's a 5 rating scale. The assessment time is usually about 30 to 45 minutes. The reliability and the validity and strengths and weaknesses of this, I think it's a self-assessment or self-report assessment, which impacts both the reliability and the validity of the answers and the responses and the information given back to the clients. In some categories, the results are interpreted by reports of other individuals who have taken similar tests, and they rate their satisfaction in the career, and then their personality types are matched with that, which can definitely impact how it's scored and what others are matched with. It's one of the most commonly used career assessments, so I think that's a strength of it, just that it's used by many, which means it's it ties in with my last strength, is that it's continually revised and updated by experts and professionals that are using it and implementing the test. And then, I can't think of a weakness other than the self-report, which is somebody could answer differently on really any given day. So I think that, being in a mood one day and giving an answer versus, you won't answer the same question the same every single time if you're given the same test, today or 2 months, just depending on what you've learned or what you've done in between. Appropriate populations. This Strong Interest Inventory is intended for populations who are exploring new educational or career opportunities. So this is like high school students, college students, young adults, or adults seeking new career education paths. And like I said, it's kind of self-report in the sense, and so as one's interests change, as one's what they've learned has changed, they can definitely take this, in high school and get a completely different score as if they take it after graduating from college or working in the field for 10 years. Theory of personality. I could see how it could line up with Erickson's developmental theory of personality, but I thought it matched with Freud's a lot better. Just in like the little age categories he has them in. The first one is ages 12 to 18, and he suggests that this age group is investing energy into various activities such as art, sports, and preparing for work. So I think this is if one was to take it in high school and their interests, like I said, are completely different, and they're just learning and testing out new sports and new activities. So they may not really know their path directly of where they want to go. I know I for sure didn't know what I wanted to do in high school, and it changed multiple times throughout college until I took a similar test like this. I wasn't really sure of what my interests matched up with, and now I'm on the right path thanks to a career assessment. And then also the ages 18 to 35, Freud suggests the core characteristics of mature adults is the freedom to love and to work. So I think this, basically states it on the to work aspect is these people are finding a career because it's what they are needing to survive and to support their families, but also want to be happy. And so then you have to find something that matches with their personality. And so this is something that the strong inventory assessment, I think, aligns with, because it does personality types, it does occupational themes, and just all of the categories, really. In the literature, what was confusing or hard to understand? The literature, there is quite a bit of literature. A lot of them are case studies and how it applied to certain individuals or groups of individuals. A lot of them have rehabilitation counselors that have reviewed the Likert or the strong inventory, and then so the hardest thing for me to understand was the statistics when analyzing the reliability of the results and how it matched people with particular occupations. It did a lot of statistics and averages, and I guess just the math part of it was something I didn't really understand, which is not something that's that common for me. What was the most important thing you personally learned from the literature? I did not know that these types of career assessments bounced off of each other so much. They used, like this one used John Holland's theory of types in it, in the occupation. So like the artistic, investigative, conventional, social, enterprising, I believe are his 5 themes. And so in the career occupation aspect of the strong interest inventory, that's where it would scale you. So that's what you would see those categories on your scale. And also I didn't realize how many of these tests really use like the Likert rating scale, from strongly disagree to strongly agree, disagree, or neither. So I thought that was interesting. I had no idea that they bounced off of each other that much, or used a lot of the same strategies. And then I didn't put a biblical slide on here, but a biblical aspect that I think of this is like, God has his path for us, and we can take these tests and take these interests, but really we're going to end up where we are supposed to end up in. I think that's something that's important to remind our clients, is that, our path is predestined and God has a plan for us, and we'll follow along those lines. And then these are the references I used. I used the text book from the course. That it has a lot of helpful information, but it's like a general, here's this, and then you can go research it. And then I used the theory and practice of counseling and psychopathology text that we have. This helped me find what theory of personality that I think was best fit. And then also there was a rehabilitation counseling journal that had a lot of good information in it, looked at like all of the revised and compared it to the earlier versions. So thank you for watching my presentation.